as we come on in. Amen. And I tell you, man, it's hard after lunch. Yes. All right, all right. Well, I'm not going to stall any longer. I wanted the same delegation that we had earlier to hear this brief. Hear this workshop. Hear this particular workshop. While the others are coming, I'll go ahead and talk. I went to the Hampton's Ministers Conference. Let me get something in front of me. I haven't been doing a good job remembering names. All right. And we titled this workshop, Your Body is a Temple. Treat it right. And when I went to the Hampton University's Ministers Conference in June, I had the honor of going to one of the workshops that was being presented over at the Student Union. And I was in another workshop that ended early. And so I walked out and walked around and came on the other side of the Student Union of Hampton University. And I saw a sign that said, prostate cancer awareness. I think that was the wording of it. And I looked in the window and saw black men talking, and I saw there were some ladies in there, but they were part of the facilitators of the shop. And I saw on the sign outside, it said from this time to I think 3:30 it was, whatever that time was. So I showed up about 15 minutes prior to it ending. And I said, well, you know, we don't like going anywhere late or walking in late. So I proceeded to get ready to leave that area. I received a phone call, and I, instead of walking and talking, I went over to the table and leaned against the table, and I saw Tiffany walk out of the workshop. And the conversation that I had just ended, and I said to her, I said, when is the next workshop starting? And at that time she said, this is the last one, come on in. And she held the door open for me. And so I walked in, and I heard all these testimonies that was a little uncomfortable. Men talking about prostate cancer and DRE, digital rectal exam. I said, well, you know, I'm the youngest one in here. And I said, well, I don't think I need to really listen too closely. But then as I sat and listened to the other men that was in there with me, and they started telling me the testimonies of what they had to do and the differences that the DRE made versus the PSA. And I'm saying, well, I've never had a DRE, not looking forward to getting one. And I knew that I do labs, but PSAs never stood out in my mind that there's something that I needed to track. And so I've been retired 8 years, and I remember when I was going through the retirement physical back in 2017, I was in my 40s, and they asked me, do I want to do this type of procedure? I didn't have to, and at that point I said, no. Get me out of here, I've been here too long, 26 years. And so we went, so listening to that workshop challenged me to ensure that I needed to do what I needed to do, being a 52-year-old guy now. And so I went on and definitely now I'm on that journey with them. So again, I want to thank Sentara Community Health and Hampton University's Proton Cancer Institute for being here with us on today. I definitely relate with Hampton because I'm a graduate of Hampton University. And so we welcome Tiffany, Rodgers, and Betsy Carroll with us. Now they're going to have a lot of information to present, and the goal today is for you all to take this information back to the local church, share it in the communities, and they're going to talk about how you may become a partner with Sentara and hosting PSAs at your local church. Because a lot of folk don't want to go to the hospital. A lot of folks don't want to go to the doctor's office. But if they can come to the church and their local community and get the same type of screening, that's what they want to do. All right? So I'll turn it over to our presenters on today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Reverend Hunter. Thank you for having us here today and for taking the time to come and listen to what we're talking about. My name is Betsy Carroll. I'm a cancer community educator with Sentara. I've been a nurse since 1996. I was in the Navy for a little while, and my husband's retired Army, so, of course, this is our perfect place to be, right? So we're excited to be here, part of this community, and what I do in the community is things like today, education. I do vendor tables, like if someone's having a health fair at their church or organization. I also bring screenings, so I work with our mobile mammography van, which we will have at the event that we're going to talk about later today. And we do the PSA screenings in the community for prostate cancer. I do skin cancer screenings out on the boardwalk in Virginia Beach. I cover the Virginia Beach and Chesapeake area, however, there's 4 of me. And we actually have a brand new educator that is for this area because our other one got married and then moved to Chicago with her honey. So she's still in orientation and had to be somewhere else today, or she would have been here. I really wanted her to come today. But her name's Tanaya. So there's 4 of us all over. So any place you are, we can help with you. And even, are there any people here from Richmond? I know this is like okay. So we don't have an educator in Richmond, but we are working on some actual things in Richmond for cancer education. We're hoping to get an educator out that way soon. But again, you can contact me, and I've got my cards out in the lobby. If you'd like information, let us know, and we can get you in contact with the right people. Okay, so without further delay, I'm going to be talking a little bit, I'm going to talk about prostate cancer, but I also wanted to talk to you guys about cancer in general, because, we were talking about your body as a temple, right? So there's a lot of things that we can do in prevention and talking to others. All right. So, a little introduction into cancer itself. Cancer is part of our bodies that have just gone wrong, okay? There was a genetic change, there was an environmental thing that happened, something affected our normal cells, whether they're in the breast, lung, wherever they might be, to cause it to change. And those changes become cancer cells that go out through your body or a cancer tumor, okay? And then if you have metastatic cancer, that means that whatever that change was, wherever it started, it has gone outside of that area into other places in your body. All right, so please raise your hand if you've ever been diagnosed with cancer yourself, any type. All right, very good. Mother, father, brother, or sister, so immediate family members that have been diagnosed with cancer. A lot. Grandparent or uncle, aunt or uncle. Right? And then close friend has ever been diagnosed. Okay? So too many of us have people in our lives that have been affected by cancer. And we wish that we could have helped them or helped ourselves. And so today I'm hoping to give you some knowledge about that. So what we can do is we can know your risk. You can practice small prevention habits. Know your family history, super important. Knowing when to screen. Okay? So first we're going to talk about causes and risk factors. And there's lots of these, and this is a little bit small print, so I'm going to go over a few, and we'll kind of concentrate down on it too when we talk about prostate cancer. So there's modifiable ones, and there's non-modifiable. Modifiable means you can do something about them. So your diet, okay? Studies have shown that high-fat diet, high-sugar diet, processed foods cause changes in your body that can create cancer. Obesity, so that goes with your diet. That also, there are changes in your body with the inflammation that when you're overweight and obese can cause, that can also cause cancer. Smoking. Smoking affects every single part of your body down to the hairs. Okay, so smoking is one of the #1 causes right there. And that includes vaping, that includes cigar, chewing tobacco, all those type of things. Exposures, so think about what you do in your work or in your community. Radon, any kind of radiation type thing, let's say construction, sometimes you get exposed to things. Physical activity, in having the physical activity. So being sedentary is almost as bad as smoking. It is the new smoking, because we are behind our computers so much. We're doing work in that way, so we really need to be moving. Stress, always a factor with everything, but stress plays a big part. And then sexually transmitted infections. So HPV, has anyone heard of HPV before? Okay, those can, head and neck, anal cancers, and cervical cancer for women. So HPV is something you can actually get a vaccination for. All right, so non-modifiable, your age. As you get older, things change in your body. So, sorry. I know, I'm at that 52, so I'm thinking about those kind of things too. Being born male or female, of course, will prescribe you to different cancers. Family history, we're going to talk about that a lot, but you really need to know your family history. Race, so African Americans have increased risk for several types of cancer, one of which is prostate. And then also American Indian and Alaskan Native. Okay, so first we're going to talk about what we can do to help prevent, okay? Your first thing is your nutrition. Every single thing you put in your mouth can be a shield and sword for you. All right, so we're talking about veggies and fruits. 5 a day is great. That's what they used to tell us. But 7 to 10 servings a day really, really helps fight that cancer. And I don't tell people to, deprive yourselves. Let's talk about adding stuff. Add the color to your plate. See how many vegetables you can get in a week. Try new things. Get that diversity. Okay? Science shows that the more produce you eat, the greater for the protection, especially against cancers of the digestive tract, so your colon cancers, your lung, and your breast. Also, variety matters, so get all those colors. Get the rainbow. Gut health, super important. So, fermented foods, sauerkraut, certain types of pickles, not the vinegar type. I learned that a few weeks ago. Yeah. The kind that has the brine in them. Probiotics, the kombucha, the kimchi, all these type of things. Better oils. All right, so there's lots of different things. Avocado and extra virgin olive oil are your best bets right off the bat. But any kind of the nut oils are usually not as much. Okay, processed meats, we know this, right? We know this. So our bacon, our sausage, and our hot dogs, oh, they're so good. They're so good. I love me some bacon, especially. Deli meats, okay, so there are some deli meats out there that are lower, or either have none, or are lower in like the nitrates. Those are a better option if you need a deli meat. But a lot of those high in sodium, processed, anything that's processed, the more you change the food from its original state, the more processed it is, okay? So, science behind it. It's linked to the higher risk of colorectal especially, stomach and pancreatic cancers, but really all cancers is a carcinogenic, group 1 carcinogenic. And then, if you're better, lean meats, things from the loin region, excuse me, chicken, breast, and fish. And there are fish that are better, and you can find that on the internet of your good type fish and the ones. Usually it's more like your bottom feeders, things like that you want to avoid if you can. All right. So how can you do this? So there's a lot of things out there that are like, oh, this is good stuff. I don't want to limit all my good stuff, okay? But what are the ways that we can do things? So bringing your lunch, oldie but goodie, whenever you're out and about, if you're at work especially, having something, even if it's just snacks. Okay, speaking of snacks, let's add anything, any kind of vegetables to anything. So fill half of your plate, sneak them in. I say sneak them in like they're James Bond. Okay? So sneak those into your kids' plates, to your plates, put them in tomato sauces. Blueberries are actually good in brownies if you puree those suckers up. So there's lots of things you can do, and there's really great recipes out there to sneak those veggies in. Mason jar salads and snacks, think hummus or like a really good dressing at the bottom, and you've got some veggie sticks. Talk about nutrition with your family. I know people, like I learned cooking from my grandma. She was my best teacher, but we really didn't talk about nutrition, like what's the best things to eat and why are you eating that or not eating that. So really good things to talk about. At home, what can you do? Making it easy, meal prep. I try to do this. It doesn't always work out, but when it does, it really helps in my time management and getting things to my family, using all those veggies that I buy at the grocery store and then have in my fridge. And then sometimes when I don't do this, I have to throw them away, which I hate doing. All right, so read labels. Newlyweds versus married couples. Okay, so newlyweds, it's all about, ooh, what are you doing? Like, what's in that label? What kind of things are in there, right? Married couples are like, oh, I'm just throwing that in the bin. Okay, I know what you are, I'm comfortable, I'm throwing it in there, right? So let's be newlyweds when we're shopping and we're looking at labels. We want to really discover what's in them, make sure we know, and maybe we can find some good old married couple products that we want to just throw in all the time. Okay, rework your favorite unhealthy recipes, like I was talking about with the blueberries you can put in brownies. You can, most bakery type things that you make, cakes and brownies and stuff, you can reduce half of the sugar without distorting the taste very much. So there's lots of things you can do. Applesauce instead of butter, things like that. Track your 7 to 10. Put a little list or something on your fridge and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, track those veggies. Make sure you're getting them. All right, and what are some other ways that you can incorporate better nutrition? Just kind of think about that as you go through when you're making your grocery lists and doing your meals. Okay, so we have some resources. We actually have an oncology nutritionist that does a whole series. It is on Sentara.com/events. Her name is Shay Arluck. She is a breast cancer survivor. She had breast cancer at the age of 29. So she is wonderful. She really works with that microbiome in your gut. So she has lectures every month, and you can find them there, and also has recipes every month on our Facebook page. Okay, prevention skill number 2. If you can, I want everybody to stand up for me. All right, movement. Movement is your friend. Do it as much as you can. Physical activity is defined as any movement. You can sit down when you're ready. It was just a little stretch, yes. Any movement that requires skeletal muscles and requires more energy than resting. So moving that body, whether you can do it slow, whether you can do it fast, any kind of movement. All right. So the recommendations are 150 to 300 minutes of moderate activity or 75 to 150 of vigorous activity. Excuse me. Children need 1 hour a day. I'm sorry, and that 150 and 300 and all that, that's for the week. So not a day. That's for the week. That's for the week. Kids need at least an hour a day, and everyone needs to limit their sitting time, watching TV, screen time, as much as possible. Okay? Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. Higher levels of physical activity are linked to a lower risk of several types of cancer. Okay, bladder cancer, breast, colon cancer, endometrial cancer, esophageal cancer, kidney, stomach. And these are a 15 to 21% risk reduction. So that is significant reduction just by getting enough exercise. Finding ways to move. So we're going to stand up and stretch. You don't have to do it now. You just did it. But every 30 minutes, try to do that. Set a timer on your watch, on your phone. Oh, just like that. Checking my time. And get that rest in. Just standing up, putting your arms above your head, and doing a little stretch really gets that blood flowing. Okay? Take a nap. Walking in the halls. Oh, take a nap. Take a lap. Sleep is good too. Okay, but we're talking about, okay. So walk the halls, walk somewhere around your building, wherever it is that you are, okay? I did too, that's okay. Find a class, before, after work, find a friend. A biggest thing about exercise is find a buddy. If you've got like a walk person that you can walk with, exercise with, to motivate you, to encourage you. Join in the fun. You've got kids, grandkids, go play with them on the park. And maybe you're not, swinging in the swing set, but you're out there, you're moving, you're grooving, and that's what it's all about. So more tips. It counts. Everything counts. You're dancing in the kitchen. You're having a little dance party. You're doing your chores. You're gardening. All those things count for your movement. Try something new. Pilates, Tai Chi, hiking, whatever it is. Excuse me. That you've always wanted to try. Find your crew, just like I said. Thank you so much. Find your crew. Find your buddy. All right, and don't forget your pets. Taking your dog for a walk, great one. All right, and what is your favorite way to move? Think about what is it you like to do? What is it you want to do? You like to dance? Do that. You like to do whatever? Awesome. Okay, prevention skill number 3, stress. We all have so much stress, right? And it can be different kinds of stress. We have different seasons in life, right? We have seasons that come and go with the flow. And the stress meter here does the same thing. So you've got times you're inactive, you're a little more sluggish, you don't have as much stress. That peak performance area where it goes into just a little bit of exhaustion, that's kind of what we're shooting for all the time. We are, we're getting things done, we're doing it right, we're like, whoo, we've got it going on, we're doing everything, we've got some stress, but that means we're living. That means we're doing things, right? We're connecting with people, we're doing things. What we don't want is that exhaustion, anxiety, and burnout levels. Okay, and sometimes we slip into that exhaustion, maybe anxiety. We're trying to come back to the middle, right? So there's ways to do that. So we talk a lot about mindfulness in prevention. Mindfulness is not this person necessarily, could be, sitting on a mountaintop, doing a yoga pose, and meditating for 3 hours. That is not necessarily mindfulness. It is really just coming back to the present and realizing what's important, focusing, that kind of thing. I'm going to show you some ways to do it. But the benefits can be cognitive, first of all. Focus, concentration, increased memory. It can be emotional, social, improved self-regulation, compassionate attitude, behavior, and your well-being, as well as decreasing stress, anxiety, and depression, and increasing your own resilience. I don't have to tell this group, right, that prayer and meditation, super important ways to be mindful. Praying and using guided meditation or spiritual meditation is a great way to focus, bring your energy back to yourself for a moment, and kind of block out the rest of the world just for a moment. And be with God, be with your own thoughts, that kind of thing. All right, so we're going to do a little exercise, okay? And don't fall asleep on me, I know y'all just had turkey, okay? But this is a senses exercise, okay? So first thing, find 5 things that you can see. Just kind of pick them out, count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now I want you to think of 4 things that you can touch, and I want you to actually touch them. 4 things around you that you can touch. Okay. Everybody got your 4? All right, 3 things that you can hear. Just close your eyes. 2 things that you can smell. Hopefully they're good things. 1 thing that you can taste. It might just still, lunch might be lingering. But you can also think of something that tastes good as well. Okay. So how do you feel after that? Do you feel a little more focused? Yeah, relaxed, maybe? Thankful. That was a good one. Okay. So that's one little thing that you can do anytime, anywhere. Doesn't cost you anything. You can have it in your back pocket. Okay. One other thing we're going to do is a little mini vacation. We're going to do a 1-minute mini vacation, or 45-second-ish. Okay. So I'm going to read this first, and then we're going to do it together. Okay. We're going to take a deep breath to the count of 3. We're going to hold it for the count of 2. If you can, don't stress yourself too much. And then let it out at the count of 3. We're going to do that 2 times. All right, everybody can get ready? Okay. I'm going to take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 2. Out. 2, 3. Now breathe normal for a minute. We're going to do it again. Take a deep breath in. 2, 3. Hold. 2. Out. 2, 3. Now normal breathing. Now you can do that anywhere, anytime, and it will bring you back to focus. It will bring your blood pressure down. It will decrease your anxiety, all those kind of things. So a really great thing to keep in mind. All right. Going on. Still kind of in that mindfulness realm, but gratitude. Gratitude changes everything. It changes your perspective, how you meet people, how you take things that come towards you, or people that come towards you. Gratitude research they've done a lot of it in the last 10 to 15 years. It can help you make connections, improve your mental health, again, that whole perspective and how you look at things, increases your physical health, because it's going to decrease your blood pressure, it's going to do all those kind of things that decreasing stress does. Enhances your empathy and reduces aggression, because you're going to take that second to react versus that instant reaction to people. Improve your sleep. Super important. I can do a whole thing on just sleep. Enhance self-esteem. Oh, enhance self-esteem. The period. Okay. Gratitude toolbox. So how can we kind of get better at this? Because it's something you can work on. It's a muscle you can develop. Gratitude prompts, journals, websites. There's guided meditations on it. Just thinking at night, what are the 1 or 2 things that I'm grateful for today? It doesn't have to be anything big. It can be that I was grateful that I got dinner done and my family fed tonight. Grateful for that. Doesn't have to be big. Thank you notes. You know, we used to do a lot of these. We used to handwrite them, came in the mail, love them still like that. But it can be a little sticky note. It can be verbal. It can be email. People love to be thanked. And giving that thanks gives to yourself as well. So thank you notes, great way to foster that. And don't just think about stuff people gave you. Gifts, talents, and time you can thank for. Daily use. So this is, be consistent in your gratitude. Don't just do it for a Sunday. Don't just do it for a Wednesday or whatever, or once a month. Challenge yourself to thank others at least once a day, and that will help a lot. All right. Mindfulness. So there's an app for that. There's several. There's Calm, there's Headspace, there's Hello, there's Prayer that I could not change the slide to add. It would not let me. I tried really hard. There's really great ones. They have meditation, sleep aids, daily encouragement, yoga, cardio, walk, calming sounds to sleep at night too. Really great things. All right, so now, we got through the preventive part. Now we're going on to our family history. This is one that you can work on. It can be a legacy that you pass down so that people know, the younger folks know when to be screened and things like that. So we already asked this, has anyone had cancer in their family? And there's a lot of people in here that have had cancer in their family. So what does that mean when you have cancer in your family? So in general, it means that you may have an increased risk for cancer yourself, okay? But what puts you at higher risk, okay? It depends on which family members are affected. Your close family members, your mother, father, brother, sister, that's your first degree family members. Those are the most effective in telling if you have a higher risk, okay? Number of family members, 1 versus 2 or more. Okay, so if you have 2 or more, you're at much greater risk than if you just have 1 family member. The age, if anyone is diagnosed at a younger age, and that's anything younger than 50. Some cancers are 65, but usually around that 50 or younger. The type of cancer it is. So some cancers are more easily passed on genetically than others. So, and maybe that person had lung cancer, but they were a really heavy smoker, but then no one else had cancer in the family around them. So that's probably more of an environmental type thing versus a family thing. All right, so there are genetics that can cause cancer, but they are very low. Usually 10 to more like less than 5% of all cancers that are diagnosed. However, if you do have these gene mutations, you are 50% to 100% at higher risk. So, recognizing these patterns in your family is super important, and you can maybe get genetic counseling if you are seeing these patterns, or at least talk to your doctor about getting early screenings. 2 of the most important ones are BRCA1 and BRCA2, and Lynch syndrome. And BRCA1 and 2 have an increased risk for prostate and breast cancer. And the Lynch syndrome, also prostate cancer, but it can include other cancers like colon. All right, so I want to challenge you guys to do a family tree. I want you to sit down, have yourself at the bottom, mom and dad and at the top, or ahead of you, and brothers and sisters. Start there. Make out, any diagnosis, cancer, cardiovascular, diabetes, those type of things are really important for your children to know, and even your grandchildren. You can also look at grandfathers, aunts, and uncles. Not as super important as the others, but can also show a pattern. So good things to know for your family. All right, so the next important thing is screening, because we can maybe prevent cancer, maybe, but sometimes we can't, right? But we want to find it as early as possible, because the earlier you find it, the less treatment you have to have, first of all. The better that treatment is going to work, and the longer longevity you have after such treatments. Okay, so screening guidelines are different for a lot of things, and I don't know if you guys can see that really well. But basically, your breast for ladies needs to start at age 40. Okay, you need an exam every year after. Prostate, it's a little more complicated, we're going to get into it later, but it starts at age 45 to 50 for average risk men. However, Black African American men need to start at age 40, and that's a new guideline. Colon starts at age 45 for everyone. You do not have to get that every year, and that's the colonoscopy gold standard. It's either 5 years or 10 years after you get it, depending on if you had polyps or not. Lung cancer, there is a scan for lung cancer. Many people don't know that. It's a low-dose CT scan, and you can get it. It's covered just like a mammography if you fall under these things. Age 50 to 80, currently or have quit smoking in the past 15 years, currently smoking or have quit, and a 20-pack year history. That means 2 packs a day for 10 years or more. Okay? And if people fall into that, they can get that screening, they can find it early, because lung cancer is the top killer of both men and women, because we usually don't find it till it's too late. We're usually looking for somebody else. Someone thinks they have pneumonia. They go into the ER. You do not have pneumonia. So we want to find it early. Okay, so we're going to be talking about this event later. Tiffany's going to talk about that. However, I first want to talk to kind of drill down on prostate cancer, because Reverend Hunter talked about his experience, but there are some facts and figures I want to share with you. Prostate cancer is the #1 diagnosed cancer for men diagnosed, but the second leading killer. So lung is the first, prostate is the second. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime. 1 in 8. 6 out of 10 of those cases occur in men greater than 65. So it is still a disease that normally affects older men. However, well, I'm going to get to that later. American Cancer Society estimate for 2025 new cases over 300,000, estimated deaths over 35,000. But look at the survival rate. If you catch it early, your survival rate is 97.5%. Okay? 5-year survival rate with metastatic, so it's a later stage, it's gone to other parts, drops way down to 34%. Okay? So this is a disease that we can cure if we catch it early. Excuse me. There's an estimated 3,300,000 or more people in the country with prostate cancer. Most of those will die with prostate cancer, but not of prostate cancer. It's a slow grower, usually. We are really trying to find those aggressive ones that are coming and getting bigger faster than the normal. Okay. So, what is a prostate? A lot of people don't know where it is. In fact, I was having a screening at Carroll the last few days, and when I asked if they had an exam, if the men had had one recently, they said, oh, I had a colonoscopy a while back ago. I'm like, that's not the prostate. That's close. It's in that same region, but it's not that's not looking at your prostate. Your prostate is actually underneath your bladder and kind of connected around your urethra, where it takes the urine from the bladder and out your body. Okay? Usually, it's about the size of a walnut. That's the normal size when you're a young guy. It gets larger as you age, naturally. But the prostate cancer occurs when the normal prostate cells change. Just like we talked about, something happened. Genetically, environmentally, something happened to those cells. With age, again, because cells just kind of develop differently as we age as well. So that can happen as well. The growth rates, like I said, it grows really slow usually. But we're trying to catch those ones that are not the usual. Okay, so many men with prostate cancer do not have to get treatment. They're just monitored. So that's important to know too. Even if you were screened and you were positive, a lot of the clients that I deal with are just monitored after that. They just check that PSA a little more closely, but they are just monitored. Okay, so our risk factors and causes. Some of these are the same. Diet, obesity, smoking, sexually transmitted infections, geography, North America, Europe, Australia, more prominent. Age, born male. Sorry, water. And your race is the big one. Well, family history, we talked about that, but race as well. So, speaking of race, my next slide. Oh, actually, that'll come in a minute. Okay, so symptoms. This is super important, why it's in red. No symptoms is the most common symptom. So when people are feeling good, they feel like they're fine, that's when it can be in the early stages. And that's when we want to get those screenings, okay? Urinary problems. But that happens a lot when your prostate gets enlarged, right? So a lot of men will say, oh, I'm just getting older, that's what happens. Always get it checked. Always get it checked. And make sure that you know your PSA number and your doctor's following it. Blood in the urine or semen. Erectile dysfunction. And then pain or weakness. So this pain and weakness, all these things, hips, ribs, can include numbness, things like that. That is a late stage. So we do not want to get there. Okay, so family history again is the same if you have family. However, with prostate, there's some specifics. So prostate cancer is one of those that does run in families a lot. 1/3 of all diagnoses have a family connection. Having a father or brother with prostate cancer doubles a man's risk. Family is important. The risk is higher for men who have a brother with prostate cancer than if he had a father with prostate cancer. And here's why. One of the reasons why. That BRCA gene we talked about, I'll click to that in a second. I'll come back to the red. That runs with prostate and breast. So the mother or grandmother could have had breast cancer, had that gene, right? Went to the son, he had prostate cancer. So knowing that family history, important. In the red there, the risk is much higher for men with several affected relatives, especially if they are young when they were diagnosed. So that 50 or younger. This is how black men rate as far as the rate of diagnosis. You can see that's a big difference. American Cancer Society tells us that prostate cancer is the most commonly diagnosed in black men, accounting for 37% of all new cancers, and incidence rates are 73% higher than any other race. Here we go. Black men are less likely to know about screening, so these are some of the reasons this is happening. Less likely to know, have death rates twice as high as their white counterparts, have the highest prostate cancer death rate of any racial group, and when diagnosed, black men are more likely to be diagnosed at a younger age with more aggressive disease. So that's why that age changed where black men need to get screened at age 40 at least. Need to start that screening at age 40. All right, so when should you screen? Again, black African American men or high-risk men. So if you have friends that are not black men, but have that relatives, family history going on, that is your other folks that could be screened early. Those with first-degree family members before the age of 65, genetic-related BRCA gene, okay? Those start at 45. Average risk men, non-African American, would start at age 50. So it's a little complicated on that, but start talking to your doctor around 45 no matter what. All right. Prostate screening. So there's three parts to the prostate screening. First is a shared decision making, and that is basically you talking to your doctor about that family history, about what a screening actually is. And when you do a screening, the PSA, if it's high, it doesn't necessarily mean you have cancer. It means something's going on with that prostate that needs to be checked out. Okay, so they do all the pros and cons with you. First line of screening, according to research, is that PSA blood test, okay? DRE, also important, but it is an optional at this point, but I will say that there's men who have found their cancers through DRE versus their PSA being normal. So if you have that family history especially, if you have any kind of symptoms, or even if you're just doing your regular exam, say, you know what, doc, it's okay if you do that DRE, because I want to be around for my kids, my grandkids, and that's something that can be done. But that PSA, knowing your number, super important too. Okay. Again, I want to go back to this because it's so important. Age 40 for black African American men. Please encourage everyone you know to start doing their screenings early. Baseline testing should start at that age between 40 and 45 and done every year after. We had a gentleman that came to the 2024 event that Tiffany's going to talk about. And between that time and the next event, his PSA went up and he had prostate cancer. So it's that quick. If it's one. And he's being monitored. He has not had to have treatment so far because they caught it so early. They're going to see if his levels go up. But every year, super important. All right. So what else can you do? advocate, 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 and then be sure to advocate for yourself. Because this health system is complicated, it is cumbersome, it is hard to navigate. It's hard for me to navigate, and I've been working in it since 1996. You lose your PCM, things happen, all this stuff. So please advocate for yourselves and help others advocate as well. Be a role model, and this is where you guys are so important today. You are the role models in your community. Please spread this word, do your screenings, show your folks around you that good role model activity. Participate in studies. We can only know what we can study those studies make changes. So participate. Voices of Black Women is a great one. I have more information about that. I'm going to let Tiffany go here. But there's also prostate cancer ones. There's other ones in the community. The more Black African American participation we have in those, the better research we have to make changes. And I know there is a barrier with trust with the healthcare system, but please check these out. If it's something you feel comfortable with, please do come in and be involved with them. Okay, so please know the facts, learn your history, screen, and advocate for yourself. And I thank you guys for listening so intently. Introduce Tiffany Rodgers from the Hampton University Proton Cancer Institute.
Thank you so much. And if you can just go to my presentation. Betsy provided so much valuable information. She provided education, she provided jewels, but what I want each and every one of you guys to do is to actually take action. Do something about the information that you've learned here today. Because once we know better, what do we have to do? We have to do better. So just don't sit on that information, but actually do something. Betsy introduced me. My name is Tiffany Rodgers, as my presentation is coming up. I'm from the Hampton University Proton Cancer Institute, an institute that has been around for 15 years. I don't know if you guys have heard about us. We're kind of like a kept secret, but we are literally saving lives. Let me get this little, I'm up, thank you. Okay, so why do we do this? Betsy's provided a lot of the education and information. I'm going to talk about this fantastic event that we have next Saturday. But I want to tell you a little bit about why we do this event. Dr. Harvey started the Proton Center 15 years ago. Now, why did he start that center? He's an avid reader, and he was reading the newspaper, and he found out that the cities of Portsmouth, Virginia, and Petersburg, Virginia, had the highest mortality rates of Black men dying of prostate cancer. And he was alarmed. He was like, why is this happening right in my backyard? He's put a team together. He raised $225 million, and he established Hampton Proton. Hampton Proton treats all forms of cancer. When we opened back in 2010, we were the 8th Proton Center to open. The 8th. Now there's 50. We were the first in the state of Virginia. Now there's 2. And we are the only Proton Center that's owned by an HBCU. My alma mater. I love saying that. We've treated close to 5,000 patients. 5,000 patients. And we are a fantastic facility. So the stats. Betsy went into the stats. Some of the most alarming stats that I like to talk about is the fact that a man is diagnosed every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes. And a man dies of prostate cancer every 15 minutes. And this is a disease that is like 97, as you said. I found a set that said 99, so I want to use 99. 99% curable. So why are we dying of this disease? Because we are not going to get screened. We have to change these stats, and you guys can all help in doing so. So last year's event, the Proton Center started this event with the assistance of Sentara. We are so thankful for your partnership, and the Hampton Prostate Health Forum, who's run by Charlie Hill. We started with these two pillar organizations to put this initiative together that is literally changing lives. We have some of the biggest screening events that happen in Hampton Roads. Last year, we saw over 250 people at Hampton Proton. We screened 136 men, and of those 136 men, about 12% had abnormal results. And so Sentara is following those folks, and we're making sure that we help save their lives and provide a treatment plan for them. And we had 17 vendors that partnered with us. So not only do you come to the Proton Center to get screened, but there's other valuable information, other valuable screenings that we offer. So what do we have planned this year? Once again, the event is next Saturday. Saturday, September 27th, from 9 to 12. We are asking for men to pre-register, and there's a lot of women in this audience, and what we found, it's usually the women that are actually calling or going online and making those registrations, and please continue to do so. But for the men, go online, register for this event. But if you don't, it's okay, because we are trying to remove all barriers. Just walk in, and we will take you. We will provide PSA screenings. We will provide DRE exams, which I feel I'm super passionate about the DRE exam. It's important for you, because I know too many black men that have gone to get a PSA test. Their numbers are fine, but when they go to get that DRE exam, something's not right. Kurt Williams is one of them. He talks very, very adamantly about his experience with prostate cancer. It was not diagnosed through a PSA test. It was through a DRE exam. So I ask you, I charge you, when you go to your medical facility or your medical doctors, ask for both. Ask for both. Make sure that you are taking your health into your hands. It is important for you to do so. Yes? Yes, you have to do so. Okay, so event details, and we also have flyers out front. Pastors, ministers, all the men here, take some of those flyers. It is important for you to share this message with others as well. Event details. We have lots of partners that are going to be with us. They want to be a part of this initiative. They want to help the community. So this is just a quick little snapshot. We are going to be providing vaccinations for flu. We're going to be doing blood pressure screenings. We have Sentara's Mammogram that will be doing breast cancer screenings for women. We have an array of different options. So just know when you come, there's going to be a lot of different things that you can participate in, because we care about you. We want to make this Hampton Roads community healthier. Okay? Fantastic. So how are we getting the message out? How are we getting the word out? Well, we've touched base with several leaders in Hampton Roads. And we have a PSA for PSA campaign. And we have 20 loud, important, I shouldn't say important, but very loud voices that have created a PSA video for us, a public service announcement to go get your PSA exam. And I'd like to share just a few with you today. Can you start the top video for me? Check this out. This is fantastic.
I'm Philip Jones, Mayor of Newport News.
I'm Trent Boykin, head football coach here at Hampton University.
I'm Hampton Mayor Jimmy Gray.
This is Rick Brown, head coach of the Old Dominion Monarch football team.
This is Tony Elliott, the head football coach at the University of Virginia.
This is head football coach Mike London.
Get your PSA screening. Saturday, September 22nd from 9 a.m. to noon at our Hampton University Proton Cancer Institute.
I want to see every man in Hampton live a long and healthy life. So get tested and never forget, knowing is power.
That's right. Right? We have these notable voices in Hampton Roads uniting. We have football coaches from William and Mary and UVA and Hampton University, all of these football coaches that are rivals, right? But they're standing unified in this message because it's so important. Can you play Mayor Gray's video for me as well? It's just 30 seconds.
Hi,
I'm Hampton Mayor Jimmy Gray, and I want to talk for a moment about men's health, specifically about the importance of regular screening for prostate cancer. Men, there's a simple blood test that checks for a prostate-specific antigen. They call it a PSA test. So I guess you could say that this is your PSA to get your PSA. This test can save your life. Early detection greatly increases your chance of successful treatment. Don't wait for the symptoms to appear. Get yourself tested. In fact, you can do it on Saturday, September 27th from 9 a.m. to noon at the Hampton University Proton Cancer Institute. I've got several friends who've been diagnosed with prostate cancer and who have been successfully treated. I know how important early detection was for them, and you can bet that I get tested too. I want to see every man in Hampton live a long and healthy life. So get tested and never forget, knowing is power.
Yes, fantastic. I mean, isn't that powerful? And we have 20 messages like that. We have the president of Hampton University, we have the mayor of Newport News, we have Dr. Harvey, the founder of Hampton University, all providing this PSA message. And when you come on Saturday, it's free. It's free. If you have insurance, the Sentara will take your insurance, but if you don't have insurance, it is okay. We're removing all barriers. We're making this as easy as possible for Hampton Roads. I'm trying to... And then last but not least, I'm having an issue. Okay, what is it? Oh, this way. Sorry. Okay. I have one more slide. And it doesn't look like it's working, but it's okay because I can roll with it. So the key takeaways, the things that I want you guys to remember. We need you. We need you men, right? We need you to be here. We need you to be with your families. We need you to help raise the little ones. We need you to, be ministers in these churches. Everyone has a role. So we need you to take priority of your health. It is up to you. For the women in this room, we need you to push those men to the doctor. Make sure they're going to get their screenings. We need you to do that. Everyone has a role. Everyone that's hearing this message can do something. Whether it's show up to the event and get screened. Whether it's share this message with someone that you love or a friend. Or is it donate? Help us put this event together so that we can serve more people in this community. Prostate cancer is 99% curable if it's detected early. So don't be afraid to go get screened. Walk-ins are welcomed. You do not have to register online, but it does make things easier for us. And everyone has a role and everyone can do anything. Do something. Yes, Betsy said you will be in the express lane. But once again, we're removing all barriers. That's all that I have today. I hope that you guys are walking away with additional information. I hope you guys feel more educated, feel like there's something that I can do, right, for my loved ones or for myself. Are there any questions for Betsy and I? Yes.
What is the DRE test?
So that's the digital rectal exam. That is when the doctor does an actual physical exam so he can feel the prostate. Especially urologists are really good at this, but your family doctor is too. If your family doctor doesn't feel good, because sometimes they don't do them very often, you can ask to see a urologist and they will do it as well.
And I just want to chime in on that. A lot of times men don't want that test. But we have to do it. We need to start doing it. We have to put that to the side, and go get that screening because it can save your life. And if you feel uncomfortable about it, talk to your doctor about it. Talk to your friends that may have gotten it done. It is not the end of the world and it can save your life. Okay?
And also, we will have people doing DREs at this one, and we have men, we have women, so if you're more comfortable with a woman, more comfortable with a man, we have you covered.
Yes.
It just depends on, and if you'd like to have somebody in the room with you versus not, it just, whatever makes people more comfortable, we want them to be, totally feel like they can come and relax and get tested, but then have a good time afterwards.
Any other questions? Questions? You guys know when the event is, right? Saturday. Yes, we got flyers out front. I have cards out there. We have more pamphlets and information. If you guys want us to come out to your churches, provide services, provide information, you just let us know. But we are here to help you. We are willing to do the work. That is what we want to do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Medea took Mr. Brown to get his prostate checked.
Amen. Like I said, this is an uncomfortable conversation with us, males, all right? And I did not want to do the DRE at all. But because of the information that I received, I talked with the PCM about that, and went through that process in June. And then they did feel something abnormal, and then last week I went to the urologist and got another DRE. And one of the most comfortable, I ain't gonna say comfortable, but for the lack of a better word, my urologist and my PCM are females. And I felt more comfortable with a female than I would a male due to my masculinity. And that was the exact words that I said to the PCM and the urologist. And they said, "Are you comfortable with us doing it? Do you need to get someone else?" I said, "No." I'm not comfortable with you doing it. But I'll take you before I take them. And so I started this journey, and I've been very forceful about this. Kelly has set up all these interviews and all of that good stuff, and sharing this because being young, I still consider myself young in the 50s, and I was about 44 when I retired, and I had the option to take that DRE, but because of me and my masculinity, no. You gave me a choice, no. And I went on about my business, and I didn't know that my PSAs were being tracked for 3 years now. So they started tracking my PSAs at 49, but they never shared that with me. The only thing I've been tracking is my A1C, and that's it. But as a result of the DRE, she looked at the results and said, for the past 3 years, your PSA has went up 1 point each year. And so, get the word out. Remove this taboo. Fight the good fight. And that word preached this morning was for me.